Yeah, that was a good time in Dota 2. Anyway, TNC into the Roshan pit. They are losing a tier 2 down bottom. GeForce cleaned through that, and now they're TPing over towards their shrine. They're gonna send TNC packing. Alright, GeForce maybe hitting a little bit of a timing here. The BKB up on the Death Prophet, able to play more confidently. Level 18, not too far away. That's gonna be another fairly big power spike. And Terrorblade... What's up?
I just feel like TNC isn't doing anything to progress them winning the game. Like, they're trying to map control, but normally when you successfully map control, you pull ahead in terms of net worth. The net worth has been like even for the past, what, 5-7 minutes? And eventually, I think Terrorblade and Death Prophet out carries, right?
I think so. I think that the Death Prophet does start to taper off a little bit, but I think the Terrorblade is quite scary this game in terms of their ability to deal with him. I mean, he still hasn't been forced into buying a BKB or anything just yet. He may not even need to buy BKB because he's always kind of got the Oracle behind him.
Yeah.
So in terms of locking him down, it's really tough.
It really depends on how TNC plays it. If TNC identifies that they have to go on Oracle first, and they probably should and will, then Ollie will die in the beginning of the fight, and then Terrorblade will have to buy BKB. That's probably the best way for TNC to...
Oh man, DD just spawned in front of Roche. TNC... It's getting it's getting flare scattered non-stop, so okay, they just want to... Don't take a fight here. I don't know if they can go on this Death Prophet. They do have good vision here, but Geek Fam not too far away, just around the corner. Puck with there's like tons of room down here at bottom now, so Puck can actually shove the lane really far. But alright, TNC into the pit they go. This is going to be the challenge. This is how they're going to force them to come and take a fight. I hope they haven't bitten off more than they can chew. Clockwork does have a shot ready to go.
Yeah, they have to back. Roches.
Yeah, Roche is slapping Raven on the way out. Do you like this Lotus Orb on the Timber? I guess it's something else for the Terrorblade to watch out for. I was just trying to think, like, how is it better than just getting a BKB? But I guess it's weaker against Dreamcoil, but stronger against Sunder.
Oh, in fact, Geek Fam's gonna walk in. This is getting really scary. If TP gets his Aegis, this is gonna be rough.
Yeah, they pop meta. They do have the Exorcism also running. Sandman, it jumps into the wall. BKB's gonna get popped in front, but now goes to Dreamcoil. Comes out onto a couple. Raven trying to reset. Darkseer stuck in the middle of the Sandman is still alive. Oh my god, the Terrorblade dropping really low, but he's already been ulted out. Can he heal through this? He's about to get dropped. The first strike from Tim's catching on to both floors. The BKB ran out. Raven now waiting for the Clockwork down on the ground. Chakram's gonna finish him off. Did he reflect the...
Yes, he did.
The Sunder? Oh.
Yes, he did. There was 2 amazing plays in that engagement. Raven might be... he's fine. 2 amazing team fight play. The first one is the one that you call out, which is he Echo Shield, and then he reflected the Sunder, which is what I think ultimately won the team fight. The second one was when the Darkseer Blink vacuum. Oh, that's not here. March should be able to make it out of here. He's got Blink. Well, maybe not.
A little bit of trouble. Orb, Phase.
They have Yules. Yules again. Chakram under him. And
Phase. Blink.
Oh, still alive. And he should be fine.
the super short range illusory orb. Like, I'm out. I made it.
Yeah, so at the beginning of the fight, the TNC wanted to Blink Vacuum into Blink Burrow Strike with Epicenter backup, but Clockwork was able to actually catch the Sand King, so they prevented a ton of burst damage and stun coming out from TNC. So that was really well played. And then we saw the other great play was the Echo Shield, which ultimately saved the team fight. I think if Sunder went off, that was completely a different fight.
Yeah, Terrorblade comes out of the ulti with way more health, and then just probably right clicks everybody to death because he does so much damage. His build is 100% damage oriented, no real utility at all, no Hurricane Pike. It's just right click everybody as hard as you possibly can, buy as much agi as you can. So he's going to be going for the Daedalus up next. We saw what happened with that in the first game. He melted Shadow Fiend in like 2 seconds flat. SF this time around is going to be going for a butterfly. The armor is going to be helpful against both the TB and the Death Prophet, and of course the evasion. Also going to be good against the Terrorblade. That is the one thing about GeekFam's lineup, is that they pretty much only have physical damage going into the late game. Oh, they have the chain stun here. March taking damage, gonna drop the troop, 2-man coil. They've got some help coming in the form of the Clockwork. Hookshot in. Darkseer's in big trouble. They have bitten off way more than they can chew trying to go for this puck. And down they go.
So Puck has been going for this relatively defensive build so far with the Lincolns. And then now he's gonna go into Dagon. Do you feel like those are the right item choice, or would you want to see something else? Can I throw out also a suggestion to kind of into the equation?
Yeah. Here, let me think in here.
So game one, we saw GeekFam in this position where they were losing, and then they got a Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah.
Now, granted, there's not as many BKB, it's just the Shadow Feed, but I feel like it really complements the Death Prophet really well.
Just like yours.
Yeah, and even the Terrorblade, right? And in that fight, we saw that, like in this fight over at the Roshan pit, the Timber got hit by the Dream Coil, and then he just chained himself over to the tree line over here and was able to kind of disengage. But if it's an Ag's Coil, then he just gets stunned and, you know, isn't really able to do anything. So yeah, I'm inclined to agree. I can see the idea behind the Lincolns, right? If you can throw it on one of your other cores, or, you know, even just using it for yourself to make sure that you can't ever get focused down first, because you don't want the Oracle to ever have to use False Promise on you. But yeah, I'm inclined to agree that I think a little bit of extra teamfight control would also be good. Cuckoo is just pushing Terrorblade all the way back into his base. And Terrorblade, having seen the butterfly, is actually just going to queue up an MKB instead of the Daedalus. Alright, TNC with a smoke. They're hoping that somebody is going to come and farm and push out this bottom wave. They do get a sneaky ward up on the high ground. They spot the Terrorblade. They know that that's the real one, but they also know now that his team is a little bit behind him. He's going to clear out the illusion, still has the Aegis in hand. He's going to be the siege engine, but he's taking plenty of damage just up. He just walked up, threw a spirit vessel onto the Shadow Fiend, looked at his mini-map, and was like, oh wait, nobody else is here, and just got straight up Fiend script.
I mean, who cares if his team was there? He doesn't have hook. Like, I don't know how he was gonna initiate.
Yeah. Alright, well, SF losing the Aegis, has double damage at the moment. Raven playing around a little bit with the Terrorblade up top, does have his MKB now completed. Shiva's going to be the next item for the Timbersaw, gets that delivered, and what are they going to do? Raven's up onto the high ground. There is a glyph available. Deflection doing a little bit of work, but Raven just running interference as they do move forward into this fight, able to timber chain himself outside of the base. Nice angle. March jumping forward. Dream Coil is back up and ready to go. He is queuing up the Aghanim Scepter on his quick buy. Forced that away from Cuckoo. They're still kiting nicely. Once again, these lockdown problems that we were kind of talking about for GeekFam rearing their ugly heads. So hopefully they can give some more farm to this puck, get the Ags, and then the Force Stabs are going to be much less effective.
Alright, TNC did what they couldn't do in game one, which is take that pesky tier 3 and now open up the map even further by taking the Shrine.
1400 timber chain range, Lumi. I can't even show how far it is. It's
I gotta do the zoom out.
Yeah, I'm zoomed all the way out, and Timbersaw's in one corner, and then there you go.
Jesus, that is far.
That's insane.
All right.
How do you,
I mean,
how
as
do
a
you
player,
even use it?
Yeah, as a player, like you just click in a direction and you just go.
Yeah, I guess that's, yeah, at this point, you no longer have to target the trees. You're just like, yeah, there's some trees in this direction somewhere. And away I go. It's pretty nice, actually. Does it make you much more likely to have the, like, weird buyback or bloodstone situation happen to you? Because
your chain is so much longer.
you're traveling so much further.
Oh, I don't know if that will work with bloodstone. Like, if you have a really high bloodstone charge where you have instant spawn, but you're dying in the middle of a chain, that has to work, right?
Yeah, I think it does.
Oh, you could purposely time it with suicide too? That can be sick.
That's the strat. Who needs 8% whirling death attribute reduction?
Yeah. I'm actually sure that's pretty good in this game too against Terrorblade, but...
Yeah. What's he got? Almost 200 agi. So instead of reducing 30, you're reducing an extra 16, 46.
But we both know that the left talon is the way to go. I mean, like, the normal timber chain is like flying economy. And this is like having your own jet.
Yeah. Fortunately, can't bring anybody with him, but, you know, that's what... Well, we need to give Timbersaw the old ball lightning. That's where it's at. Pull people along with you. That was a weird time. But anyway, we got a blink on, we got blink Sam H. He's got the solar crest again. I think it's just, this game is probably more for I want to save my cores from Terrorblade damage.
Terrorblade has got the MKB though, so I'm not sure how effective that would be.
I think the armor's also helpful though. Oop, hook attempted onto Raven. Is he just gonna disappear? Show me that timber chain. I mean, that's a regular old timber chain. I want to see some extreme timber chains.
You want him to go for the tree that's like 3 times as far away, even though he doesn't.
Yeah, why not?
First time.
Why not just go all the way across their base, dude? He can reach the back of their base right now.
He actually can.
Just start
dies.
Just start leading them in circles, like timber chain into the back of their base. They run after you. You timber chain out of their base. He's almost got Ags. That's a very big damage upgrade for Timbersaw, if you have the mana to support it. I guess he ditches the hood at that point.
Oh, March heard us.
Yeah, no, yeah, he got the... He decided on that. I think he just saw that... He saw that top... Like, what happened in this top fight. Or even what happened at bottom. And it was just like, alright, screw it. My team has damage. My other 2 cores are damage personified. I just need to be locked down.
So no, he saw the Twitch.tv Beyond the Summit. I'm just kidding, guys.
But definitely not. We got 5 minutes of delay. Yeah. Anyway, SF has a Satanic Butterfly. He's gonna get jumped on here. Can they burst him down? BKB Satanic gets up onto the high ground, but still stunned up. Death Prophet following after him. But does Death Prophet actually have the survivability to just stand here and go toe-to-toe? She's draining down health. Cooper getting right-clicked to death. Gets the right wave out. He's already used the Satanic. He's gonna be finished off, but Raven finds the Terrorblade. He doesn't have his Lotus for a couple of seconds. Nobody has to reset a little bit further across. He will actually be able to sunder his own Oracle. Sam H trying to escape, but he's out of mana. It all falls to Raven at this point. Tim's also jumping in with the burst strike, but gets silenced. He's finished off. 3 dead so far from TNC, and Geek Fam still just running towards them. Sam H gonna try and tap this shrine, but he still gets nuked down by the Crypt Swarm. And in the end, it's only Raven who will be able to go and cut some waves. He actually has to go and cut the mid wave right now.
It's the same story again, man. They just go late and they get out carried. Raven walks in and now he just gets punched. Alright, he coaxes away. What if he like missed a tree?
Go.
Doesn't matter the range if there's no tree.
Yeah, if there's no tree on that line, then... Alright, at least he can defend with the double chakram, but...
So, what happened in that team fight was, after Shadow King came out of the stun, he activated his Satanic, and honestly, he didn't even lose that much HP. He was just stunned for a long time, but he had his BKB on him. After he Satanic, he Requiem, but then Shadow Fiend was just getting hit by Terrorblade. I think if he delayed his Satanic usage, I think he would have survived much longer. I don't know if they're gonna win that fight, because honestly, I don't know where the hell the damage is coming to actually kill the Terrorblade. They're pretty much relying on the Echo Shield actually preventing the Sunder from coming out, and to me that's just relying on too much.
But now they're inside of the pit. Making quick work of it. Exorcism's still on cooldown 35 seconds. The chakrams are hurting the Terrorblade a lot. but all right, they're gonna be able to top him off. He's always got that Sunder. They did get quite close to finishing him in that last fight, but it's like close is not good enough, right? And the Oracle is probably hovering his false promise on him the entire time, just waiting for the moment that he needed it. So.
To me, they also don't have an answer for the Death Prophet right now. You're saying that she's tapering off, but the way I see it is that she's still getting items. She blinked into a Shadow Fiend as a Death Prophet and had no worry about it because she has BKB for that Requiem. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean she's only chewed through 2 BKB charges so far, so the Timber is still not a threat for her really at all. And even then, she's got 3k health, so just gonna be tough to burst. I mean, maybe Timber Dagon. It's definitely a 6-slot item for the Timber, but it'll take him a bit. Are you laughing at this Mud Golem?
No, Timbersaw was trying to get hit by the Ancients to get some reactive stack, but he has a Shiva scar, so those Mud Golems are just not hitting.
All right, Arcane Rune, Exorcism pop, Shadow Fiend coming around the corner, does have a Shadow Blade, double Chakram onto the Death Prophet. If they could force the False Promise early, that would be great, but not going to be quite so easy. Roshan dropping very low. Can they go in? Timbersaw also jumping in with the darts here. They don't get the vacuum off. He actually got stunned up, it looks like, by the Dream Coil. And now Timbersaw left alone on a little bit of an island. He's being silent stuff, does pop the Echo Shell, able to Timber chain himself out of there. Sam H is low, 147's dead. And Geek Fam just too strong when they're all fighting together. Gonna march down mid.
It's happening again.
Yeah.
Well, wave is being cut.
Yeah, but they still have to clear this existing wave. There's also a glyph. All right, just waste a little bit more of TB's meta duration. But as soon as this glyph ends, he's going to be able to pop everything and just go to town. 2 and 3 dropping in a couple of seconds. Double Chakram not doing nearly enough. Aegis on the TB. They're going to Yule him to buy a few more seconds. SF coming in from behind, but can he actually kill anybody? That's the question. He's desperately hunting for this Oracle, but there's a sentry ward down. He gets pushed back. He's being ready to pop the BKB, but he won't be able to get out the Satanic.
Oh,
the hook shot from Play Hard, so good. Now the Dream Code's coming out. He's going to get midway through. He's dead. Buyback is available for Raven, but it looks like it might actually be Geek Fam securing their date with Fnatic a little bit later on. I mean, what can they do?
Yeah, more like it.
Yeah, they're not even going for 4 lanes of racks. It looks like they might just hit the tier 4. The Sand King's trying to get into a good position. All right, there's the buyback. Vacuum into the burst strike. Do they have the epicenter? They don't. Do they have enough damage to get the crit onto the Terrorblade? But he immediately gets hit by the False Promise, turns around with the Reflection, and will now be able to start right-clicking through everybody. Tim's buys back. The Sunder is still available. So Kemper, we're actually just waiting to see what his health situation is. The epicenter comes through. He also has the Aegis. Another Sunder in 1 second's time finally gets brought down by the Chakrams. Death Prophet's quite low. Does need to be careful. Only 1 Spirit Siphon left. Sam Mage, no vacuum. Tim's with another Burst Strike, ready to go. Can he find 2? Yes, he will. They bring down the Clockwork. Now the Puck also dead for 100. Terrorblade trying to man-fight this. Does have that Sunder ready to go. The Oracle just sitting outside of the base. Does get off another False Promise. He's doing his best to right-click through, but Raven is not going to let him go. And they've got another Burst Strike. They focus on the Oracle first. Terrorblade does manage to right-click down the Sand King.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, he's actually got another Sunder. He's going to right-click through Sam H. Where's Raven gone? He Timber chained too far away. There's the Echo Shell. Very well played by Raven. Turned up, put the Echo Shell on himself. Couldn't get Sundered. And they do manage to hold at the 11th hour.
Oh, Raven now will push with 124 damage against Unpaling Baron.
Get him.
Alright, he got a buyback. I mean, against the puck, you just ignore that puck and just keep hitting the building. This is going to be the slowest push.
If you're Puck, do you ignore the Timber, just clear this wave, and then go clear the wave outside the base? Like,
maybe. Yeah, sure. Get off the backdoor protection.
Yeah, just re-enable your back. Yeah, go, March, go! Don't even worry.
Well, he
could
accomplished
die.
the same thing, right? He got Raven off the Rex.
Yeah. But now the double wagon, Lumi. The double wagon is here.
But it's only hitting the range Rex. Alright, he now switches target to the range.
Yeah, you just gotta kill the range Rex first.
Okay. There you go.
Alright, there you go. Laner Rex coming up.
Raven's actually gonna get this Rex by himself. That's actually insane.
By himself. 2 C creeps. Never get any credit.
Sure. Actually, I think the C creep did way more than
Yeah. He was just kind of the bodyguard. Yeah. Alright, and now mid. Tier 3 dropping. Terrorblade unwilling to use this buyback. They still have a glyph, in fact. Bottom Tier 3 also gone.
Okay.
TNC finding a foothold. What's the buyback situation here? In fact, this could get dicey really quickly. Blink in, double Spirit Siphon, Dream Coil out into the Shadow Fiend, but do they have damage in range? That's the question. Hook shot forward by the Clockwork. Bane does have a Glimmer Cape, gonna just sit there inside of the cog. Gets the grip over onto the DP, but they get the vacuum onto the Oracle. He does finally manage to get the False Promise off. The TV is back, up and alive. He's TPing in. What can he actually find? He's getting kited around a little bit. He TP'd into the wall. 147's about to die. Tries for the Nightmare. Can't deny himself anymore with that, so will still get brought down. And over at bottom, looks like Darkseer's 90 damage talent went to work on the range Drax. Mid-range Drax is gone. And the Geek Fan base is actually in shambles, Lumi.
Wow. This game just got hella interesting. Maybe not so secret. I mean, a lot of the attention is focused on Terrorblade. A lot of the chaos and a lot of the damage is really done by the Death Prophet, especially with his Shiva Scar, the Silence. And that Octarine is allowing him to, you know, cast a bunch of that throughout the fight. Especially with his Shiva Scar, the Silence. And that Octarine is allowing
Both quite good. I mean, the argument against the ghosts is that Exorcism at this point already takes a really long time for all of the spirits to come out, so you lose a little bit of value there. But given that they are probably one good team fight away from potentially ending the game, not too surprised to see it. Also, you know, the puck's not really scaling in terms of damage, though he does have a Dagon 4 as I say that, so
yeah.
Maybe it's
I think if you're Death Prophet and you have Blink Dagger, you generally want to get the more ghosts, because the idea of the Blink,
you have mobility covered.
Yeah, the idea of the Blink is to maximize your damage output, so you're building more of a damage build, and the Blink kind of substitute as the extra mobility that you get from the haste of the Exorcism. Obviously not nearly as good, but
yeah. So Raven has picked up a heart, just tanking up even further on this Timbersaw. I don't know if this is going to let him go toe-to-toe with the Terrorblade, but I guess it also allows him to kind of play like Slark in some ways, right? You got a super long-range Timber Chain. If you're getting gone on in the fight, you can just Timber Chain out, wait for the heart regen to kick in, re-engage. You're maybe leaving people out on an island at that point, though. Like we saw Sam H in that last fight. Like, Timbersaw Timber Chained away, and Terrorblade just turned towards him. It's like, hey friend, where's your Timbersaw gone?
But here's the thing, unlike a Slark, you don't actually like do more damage as the fight goes on, so I don't know if Raven is actually doing enough damage. I feel like Dagon 5 is exactly where you want to be at, because you put that Terrorblade low enough, and then you just make him start second guessing himself. Like, do I need a Sunder early to play around the Dagon?
And same for Oracle, right?
Yeah,
it's like...
And now with the heart, like, honestly, sure, Timbersaw may die more if he doesn't have the heart, but I don't feel like his survivability was the issue in these team fights. It's just whether they kill people fast enough.
Alright, TNC smoke. They see the puck on mid. They're looping around. Who can they find? That's the big question. Puck still has that link in. Difficult to pop. He's hiding in the trees. March, knowing that he's relatively safe. His orb is actually on cooldown right now. They're gonna let go of the record. They're trying for the vacuum as well. They're just committing everything that they have. He blinks a little bit further away. Raven continues pursuit. And now the Clockwork coming in, gets the hook. 147 able to reset the cogs, actually preventing Geek Fam from pushing up that hill, but they will instead just go straight up the mid lane. Tims does have another burst strike in a second. Doesn't want to use it defensively. He's gonna get surged away by Sam H. Raven just laying down the chakrams, making sure that this wave is not closing in on them too much, though there are some catapults pushing in on mid, and the Radiant Courier actually ends up going down. Alright. TNC, I guess both teams are just posturing for Roche at the moment, kind of, find a pick off. We're also in a situation where buybacks are quite easy to force, it also feels like, so a pick off is actually really impactful.
Alright, we're seeing Bloodthorn out of Shadow Fiend. Or so far just an Orchid, but I guess eventually will be Blood.
Yeah, he's got it keyed up. All right, I guess he just has to find that like couple of second window in a fight where he can just sit there and auto attack. Did he sell his Shadow Blade?
No slots
did,
for it, right? Yeah.
Yeah. I think the Shadow Blade was supposed to be like, I'm gonna go, don't worry guys, I'll go kill the Oracle. And maybe the Orchid is also supposed to be kind of the same thing, right?
Remember he tried to Shadow Blade back into the fight in the mid lane and he just died because they still have detection. I don't think we're late enough in the game where Shadow Blade magically becomes a good item again because nobody has space for the detection.
Yeah, Clockwork has a gem and Oracle has plenty of room for sentries, so. Alright, what's going on over the top here? They do get the grip over onto the puck. Do they have enough damage? That's the question. Where's the Bane on fire? They don't need it. They do have a Bane getting brought down. Raven. The chain. He grazes by the cog. He's got another chain. He's okay. He's okay.
Oh man.
Oops. And the Terrorblade pops meta. He can't afford to back down, really. Are they going to try and burst him? Tim's is a little bit dangerous, perhaps. SF also playing it pretty defensively. Cuckoo not willing to engage. I do think it's worth it to just...
There's an Aeon's Disc on Mr. Sanking.
I think this item's great on SK, to be honest.
I also think that the status resistance actually is quite good in a game like this.
Yeah, even if it gets popped, you're still potentially getting out of a silence a little bit faster, or Extreme Coil Stun, something like that.
Let's see. He has how much status resistance right now?
So he has 12.9 from his being strength
stats,
and then he has 25%, and it stacks multiplicatively. It's got like 30-something% probably. The Hex up on the Terrorblade. All right, that's going to be the ultimate force out of the Oracle. It's only a 30-second cooldown. It's not a big deal to use it like this, but all right, that is a Hex being unveiled on the Darks here. SF opting for the more right-click oriented build this game.
I think that's correct. Like, I don't think the whole hexing the Terrorblade and try to kill him.
Yeah, it's not gonna work.
Yeah, you just need to out DPS him.
All right, Cuckoo really wants this Roshan. It's Roshan number 3. Aegis Cheese and Shard all ready to go. He picks up that regen rune, but before he actually heals up, actually got it canceled by the Spirit Vessel.
So I don't think he's too worried about it.
Ooh, Reflection doing some damage. Cuckoo just wants this Roshan so badly. Put the Satanic, but he actually gets bashed up by Roshan. Poppy's getting out. He's going to get the Aegis. He does manage to pick it up just barely. Clockwork's trapped by the spawn, and now they're backing everybody into the gun. Oh, this is wrong. This is trouble for Temple. What can he actually do? He gets the Sunder off. He manages to turn around and try and fight. Death Prophet also surviving for a little bit. Oracle gets found on the backline. They should be able to burst him down. That Shadow Fiend's first life's done. He's going to try and turn and fight the Force Staff. Can they get him out of here? It looks like they won't be able to. They can't escape the Death Prophet. They can't escape the Terrorblade. He's got another Thunder. This Lotus Orb's not going to last too much longer. Raven is actually already quite low. He's getting Dagon down. He's now being silenced. Doesn't have any cooldowns left. He
just walks away.
Suicide. He's actually just tanking it up. Lumi the Heart. It's doing it.
Well, here's the problem.
He's running out of here.
Tron stole the refresher shard too, so he's gonna have a second exorcism for the base push.
Oh no. He has to try and escape. First strike out up to 2. There's the Lotus damage coming in. Hex. Can they finish the Timbersaw? Yes, they can. Dead for 40. TB Illusions are pushing mid. Tim's does get his Aeon Disc popped. He's got to burrow away. He's just trying to waste their time, I think.
Yeah.
It's like, just stay here, guys. Just keep looking at me. Don't push our base.
Man, the Clockwork Cog kind of dragged Shadow Fiend away from the other 2 items on the ground, so he was only able to pick up the Aegis. And then Death Prophet got the Cheese and the refresher shard. And honestly, I think that's a bigger win for the team.
Yeah, because the Death Prophet didn't get ultied, right? There's a Terrorblade, I think, who got false promised. And then the Death Prophet also healed up, and I was like, what the hell happened? And of course, he just got cheesed in the middle of the fight. All right, they're going for bot racks. They can't get megas, unfortunately. They didn't force a buyback either. Man, TNC came away from that really unscathed, given how that fight played out.
Yeah, the fact that they chased for the Timbersaw was what I think ultimately led them not losing too much structure. And the second time I see the Satanic for Cuckoo not really doing anything, right? Like, getting bashed by Roshan is very unlucky, but
I know how to handle
yeah.
such power.
Yeah, he can't just stand there and hit anybody. It's tough. They just up in his face all the time. The Terrorblade's up in his grill. The Terrorblade at one point wasn't even like, I don't think he was even meted. He was just running after the SF punching him. It was not fun. All right, Geek Fam, they want to try and take a fight on their terms. Like you've been talking about, that refresher shard is ready to go. There's a Hex up on the Death Prophet. Buyback situation is looking pretty grim for the Radiant. They don't have a single one, so TNC, what you see is what you get. I think they do need a pretty big wall illusion out of this Darkseer. They're going to pop that first Exorcism, feeling confident. Hex coming in onto the Timber Saw. Just a little bit of harassment damage. They jump through with the Burst Strike onto the TV. He now gets Lincoln's up. Does get the reflection out. Cuckoo just trying to find an angle to lay in here with the auto attacks. They're happy to let this lane of Rex go. They just want a good catch if they can get it. Can they get a vacuum combo? That's the question. They get the Hex onto the TV. They're trying to keep them here. And the Exorcism is still flying over the top of everything. The Dream Cold comes out onto 2. They get the Hex back. They get the vacuum back. Now Cons jumping through from the Clockwork. What have they actually found? Hex onto the Shadow Fiend. He's getting mowed down by the Exorcism. Cuckoo's dead. He does have a buyback available. Raven fighting as best he can. Going up against March. Going up against Playhard. He's on the front lines. Terrorblade's actually gone. Unable to survive through everything. Raven chasing them outside of the base. Looks like he should be able to find the Oracle. And they buy back on the Shadow Fiend, sensing an opportunity to maybe force some buybacks of their own. What happened to TB in that fight, Lumi? Did he just get... I guess he just got mowed down even through the Oracle ulti.
Yeah, I guess so. I didn't really see how he died. I only saw the silences from the Death Prophet being super key. Like the Sand King walked next to the Terrorblade just waiting for that silence duration to end to Burrow Strike, but it never ended because the silence duration was so long from the Death Prophet. I honestly don't know how Terrorblade died. But TNC
he died
survived.
and he's bought back.
And now both teams only have 1 lane of racks left, but there's 2 towers up on TNC. I'm not sure how much that the 2 towers actually matter, because I do feel like EFAM has enough damage to just go throne straight up if they have a good fight.
Puck maybe trying to save the buyback. Shadowfiend's got DD, but he's out on an island at mid. Needs to rejoin the team. Most of the big control factors for TNC are dead right now, but no Oracle either for Geek fans. So Terrorblade just have to be a little bit careful. Buyback now on the puck, making his way in. Who can he find with the coil? That's the question. Samage gonna try for the TP out. Actually gets it.
Oh.
All right.
Raven, of course, has a long hook. He's out of there.
Cuckoo is the last remaining man who they can try and catch. Orbing after him. Hex gonna be in range soon. He finds an Invis rune.
Oh my lord. He's out. Oh, they even use Exorcism for this.
I mean, there's no way.
No, just kidding.
No, this is still the end of the last one. Yeah. Right. Well, this is the second one. He used the refresher. There must be. All right. Death Prophet's dead. 100 seconds in the hole. Still 70 seconds to go on the Exorcism. TNC. That might have been the game-winning Invis rune.
Oh my goodness. This game is just so clowny.
All right. Well, they've got a...
Are they gonna go for Megas?
I don't know what they do. Buyback on the Death Prophet. 5-on-5 ready to go. Tim's vision up onto the high ground. His ward is going to get dealt with quickly. TNC take a high ground of their own, claiming their position. Roshan is still at least 2.5 minutes away. Yeah, I guess. Oh, nope. It's a smoke. It's a fake back. Oh, the line is drawn.
Big line.
Over towards top. 1-4-3-7 looking to guide his team to victory in game 3. I wish we had the score pips, but you know, never mind. It all comes down to this fight. I think Cuckoo and the Terrorblade spot each other. BKB gets forced. There's the reflection. Gonna get the Shadow Fiend out of here. He's just getting right click down. The Dreamcoat gets popped. He might be able to get out the Titanic and heal back up. Clockwork's up in his face. The Terrorblade just metamorphoses him down, but can they actually kill it? The Terrorblade looks like they might be able to. He got Hex. He's dead. They're both down for 2 minutes. It's 4-on-4 now. They've also lost the Oracle. Raven going hard on his Timbersaw. The Chakram just slaying everyone. The reflected Hex. Death Prophet being controlled. The Exorcism doing some work, but they are just going to kite it out. It's 2 dead against 1 dead right now. The silence is too late. Timbersaw does actually manage to chain himself out of there. March still chasing. The Hex is up. 1-4-3-7. Can he do anything to help him? He's got the Glimmer Cave. Long hook, please. Still chasing. Another hook. Hexed up. Can they keep him alive? No, he's dead, but he does have buyback.
40 seconds. Respawn time.
Only dead for 40 seconds as well.
He's fine. Holy shit. Man. So we were seeing that the hook range increase. It's so long that the players can't even properly use it. Like,
yeah,
you don't even know where you're aiming because you can't actually see that far. Clockwork, by the way, has Is he actually gonna come in? No, there's nobody helping.
Is this where you just start playing on the minimap as Timber? You're just like, I want to go here, and then you just click on the minimap with your
Maybe
Timber chain.
as soon as you buy the axe, like they should do a different coloring on the minimap for all the trees. Just like.
Well, I mean, you know what? Talent, right? It's not the. But yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, like part of the Ags upgrade. Ah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually see where the hell you're hooking. Like.
Yeah.
You actually...
Well, it would be interesting if it showed active trees, right? Because the minimap doesn't actually show.
True.
Which trees are alive or not.
Although that also is a problem because the minimap can't show trees that are cut down on high grounds or something, right? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. It's like information that you shouldn't have.
All right. Here's what Raven needs to do. Raven needs to go back and learn every tree in this game and and just play.
1,000 games Timbersaw.
Yeah.
Come back.
How many trees are in Dota? It's a 5-digit number, right? Or is it 4?
I think it's a 4-digit number.
Okay. 5 seems like a lot.
You know what, Lumi? You could turn around and you could tell me, oh yeah, it's a 5-digit number, some 5-digit number, and I would probably believe you. So it just depends on how convincing you were.
I wouldn't believe it. 5 sounds like
5 sounds like too much.
There's exactly 1,437 trees.
There you go.
That's exactly why Bane, or rather, Cleveland picked that name.
Alright, what else is going on here? Nothing. I feel like the players are probably, we're tense. For the players, they're 100 times more tense. Like that last team fight where they lost the Shadow Fiend, everybody on TNC's, like their minds were just going, we have to find an important kill, right? Like we have to kill the Terrorblade. Yep. Otherwise, the game would have just been over. So, and this is game 3. We don't need to. We can remind people of the stakes, right? Loser of this game is out, and winner of this game moves on to play against Fnatic a little bit later to keep their hopes alive. TNC also probably want to claim revenge against Fnatic, right? Because they beat them in the best of 5 the other day for the other major qualifier, or is it also a major?
Yes.
ESL, yeah. So TNC definitely would like to go and eliminate Fnatic from this qualifier if possible, but they got to get through Geek Fam first.
Well, it's a different Fnatic, right? With Ohio gone, so I don't know.
Let's see. All right, X up onto the bank. Can they first it down? Fourth staff away. Dreamful only going to catch onto the Timbersaw. Now the Shadow Fiend getting first it down. Dig under the face. Nightmare to help keep him alive. He turns around. BKB's Botanic. He heals up a little bit. Can he actually hit anybody here? He's looking towards the Terrible place. He's going to try to hold the Sunder one here. Oh my god. They're both dead. Raven now has to find some very important kills in the backline. Tim jumping in with the epicenter, but Terrorblade is still standing strong. Gets Yuled up into the air, but they still haven't killed anyone on the Geek Fam side. Tim's is running for the hills. Raven's over on the other side of the fight. Clockwork finds a regen rune, a gift from Ice Rog himself, and Geek Fam straight into the pit. I guess they maybe don't know SF's buyback status at the moment. It's only on cooldown for another 36 seconds, in fact. So not the full respawn duration.
The fact that the Hex is not dispellable is such a big problem for TNC because they just have no way to actually counterplay the Hex. They're trying to glimmer him, they're trying to push him away, but in between all of the continuous disable that Geek Fam strung on him, there's so much damage actually on Shadow Fiend, but he just actually can't use any of it. He was able to get off one crit against the Terrorblade, and Terrorblade like lost a quarter of his HP.
Yeah, it chunked him for sure, but
he has buyback now.
Yeah.
He might need to use it.
Raven clearing out the wave.
Refresh shard.
Long way back.
Used.
I mean, they have to go for end here. There's still a tier 2 top. They're gonna jump in, Hex under the Timbersaw, resisting a little bit of that status. We get the jump in, Burst Strike, False Promise coming out, another Hex. Hex perhaps being a little bit wasted here. Terrorblade still has a decent amount of the Metamorphosis duration left. He actually refreshed in that last fight, so he's got back-to-back metas. Now the Glyph coming out, Shadowfinger to be respawning in a couple of seconds, trying to save the buyback. The Illusion actually doing so much work onto Mark the back wall, along with the wall. Max Wallace out of the Dark Sim, could that be the answer? They get the grip onto the Death Ball, they Hex the Terrorblade as he comes back up. He's trying to navigate in between the walls. Oh, no Sunder available. TNC's been chasing Tims What can he get done here? He finds the clockwork. Do they even need to bother with him? Terrorblade going to be buying back into the game. And now Raven looking for more charges on his Bloodstone. He finishes off the clockwork. Shadow Fiend managing to hold on to the buyback there after all is said and done. But gotta show that fight recap.
Holy shit. Look at the damage on Terrorblade, or not Terrorblade, well, Terrorblade and Timbersaw. Yeah, you know, earlier when they picked the Timbersaw, I was like, oh my god, I don't think Timber could carry that hard. I've never seen Timber carry this hard. And he's carrying with these items. There's no Dagon here. Straight up doing it with double chakra.
He's got a Necro 3 limit.
Okay.
He's got the backpack Necro 3. Oh my god, Raven. He is prepared for this push. He's gonna sub it out. They're coming in. They want the mega creeps at the very least.
Hook to the tree. Let's go.
Yeah. Alright. Melee barracks gone. Second melee barracks about to be gone. The ancient is exposed. Necro 3 going to work. He's got the arcane rune. He's 4.2k health worth of just absolute destruction. Terrorblade has to be careful. I have to say, the false promises on Terrorblade have not been saving him in nearly the way that I was expecting this game. They managed to pop the Lincolns on the puck. He's going to be hexed up as well. Buyback out of the Death Prophet. There's the false promise, but that means it isn't available for the other cores, at least for a little bit. And the Dream Coil is a total whiff. Puck needs to be careful. Still taking some damage. Get some Dagon hits over onto the Shadow Fiend. Alright, Puck's gonna be okay. Clockwork's still dead for 30 seconds. TNC working their way through the tier 4s. Cuckoo hasn't been able to hit heroes, but he is damn well able to hit buildings, and now the Shadow Fiend's been hexed up. Can they save him this time around? Looks like Puck actually just playing evasively, and they are kiting the Death Prophet pretty effectively. Sandwich with his BKB Tims, able to hide inside the Sandstorm. March is getting right-clicked down, and now these creeps are surging into the base. They're swarming everybody on Geek Fam. It's actually absorbing all of the exorcism damage, and it means the Death Prophet's hardly doing anything. Can they catch his TP? He gets the BKB off just in time, but he's also being kited. Can't right-click anyone down. The Timbersaw hexes up the Death Prophet. Can they burst TP? Nice fix Edict, but the Exorcism is just about to come back. They're controlling the team now with the Yule's TNC. Running circles around him. He pops the refresher just to get the BKB off again, but they finally lose Cuckoo. He does have buyback, but I think he considers saving it here, and TNC might just come back to fight this another day. They did get the Mega Creeps. They did get both of the tier 4s, and they did force a buyback out of the Death Prophet. And the game goes on.
Okay, so a couple of things that's when you talked about the false promise, it's not that the false promise isn't good. It's just that when you place it on the carry, he's either hexed up, which means you still can't right click, or look at 1437's talent tree. He's taken the enfeeble damage reduction. When he throws enfeeble on Terrorblade, he actually does no damage. That's insane. Like,
yeah, that's crazy.
Bane by himself counters Terrorblade. Well, not as illusions, but you know what I mean. Like,
he still has illusions, but then that's what the Timbersaw is for.
Exactly.
Right?
The hero itself is not doing any damage. And Enfeeble is like the herpes of like debuff. You can't get rid of it. There's no Manta, there's no BKB, there's no like Orko doesn't get rid of it for you either. So it just sticks on you for the entire duration of the fight. And that's why it feels like Terrorblade isn't doing anything.
Yeah, I mean, they also Yule's him, and then they like just ran away from him. They did such a good job of just controlling the Terrorblade in that last fight. I really have to hand it to TNC. But oh man, what a fucking game.
It's not out of the realms that Geek Fam could still win this. Like I feel like if TNC like miscontrols, especially now that Shadow Fiend, I mean he still has buyback. He's been doing very good job maintaining buyback, but yeah, it's still possible.
I think the other thing that we're seeing is like some of the discrepancy between what a Clockwork is able to do in the later stages of a game versus a Sand King. Like Tim's is consistently getting multi-hero burrow strikes, or he's like finding the puck and actually locking him down, you know, popping his Lincolns with a Force Staff or the heals and then burrow striking him. Whereas the Clockwork is just kind of a nuisance at this point, right? Like a well-timed hook shot.
I think that's about to change though. He just got Axe, so I do feel like his play level just got much higher.
The ceiling just got a lot higher in terms of what his impacts can be, for sure. All right, Raven has some Octane queued up. You talked about the undispellable Hex being a problem for TNC, but it's also turned out to be a bit of a problem for Geek Fam, right? Like you've been saying.
Same, right? Yeah.
Same. False Promise duration is getting wasted on... Well, some of it is getting wasted on just being hexed a lot of the time.
220 damage reduction for Imbeatable.
Yep.
That's... Yeah, that's actually...
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Just
Most
take away
of,
what's a rapier? Rapier's 330, so
Yeah.
2/3 of a rapier. Not bad. Maybe that's what. Oh well, speaking of rapier, look at the Terrorblade quick buy. It's like if you're gonna take 220 damage away from me, there's only one solution.
I wonder if Nullifier might be a thing
Good.
in this game. Because
Maybe.
it gives you a ton of right-click damage, but it also gives you like an active.
Yeah,
But
well,
I guess
coming
he's
into the
just
base.
looking for damage.
TNC looking for this chance. This could be the last fight. Shadow Fiend's not there just yet, so I don't think they want to go too hard. They actually get the Hex up onto the Sand King. He does have his A on disc, so he's going to be okay. BKB pops on the Death Prophet. They've got the coil out onto 2. Timberstar not jumping that far away, but the stun is just about to fade. 147 also stunned up, but able to sidestep the hook. It is only a low cooldown for the Clockwork, as you mentioned. Does have that Ags. A little bit further up, Huck clearing the wave and able to blink himself out. We've got SF Illusions pushing in on the bottom side. Somebody has to go and deal with that, but Tim's is going to try and keep them down here as they now pressure in over on the other side of the base. TNC taking their position, trying to play with their Mega Creeps, relying on them to do damage and to pressure the throne. Shadowfiend going to lane with a couple of auto attacks. They hex up on the Terrorblade. They are going to pop the False Promise on him, but still being slowed down by the Chakrams. Doesn't have boots either, so actually very slow to move around in these fights. And Tim's just sitting in the Sandstorm. They're just relying on the creeps to do the job for them. They want to force the glyph if they can without really having to commit. March is going to pop the BKB. He walks forward, but what's that really doing? They hex up the Terrorblade once again. The double wall gets dropped down. There's way too much damage, and they don't have the False Promise. He's down for 120, and that might just be the end of it. No Terrorblade. Grip used onto the Death Prophet. She's being controlled. Hexed up immediately after. Playhard will be able to cancel the Fiend Script, but to what avail? They're actually just working their way through the Ancient. Raven chasing after Ollie. Cuckoo pops back up. He gets the Satanic off. Finally able to stand this fan fight since the Terrorblade. And with that, TNC will end game Fnatic in that round.
Well, they had to earn that win, and they did. Holy shit, that was a